that would work. All right. Happy Friday. Shit, today's Friday. Happy Friday. Let me see if I can pull up the TikTok thing so I have them both up. Oh, what the fuck? How's everybody doing? Are you having a good Friday? The theme of today's Friday is execution. Execution in the picks, execution and whatever. So let me see if I can execute by writing on this thing for TikTok. If anybody has any questions, otherwise I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna start with college basketball. I want to go over these quicker because I want to touch on NFL and I want to touch on UFC 270. My birthday is on the 27th. So 27, 270. I feel as though a lot of success will be coming. Does anybody have any thoughts, feelings, whatever they folk about? All right. How are you? Why is Maryland got steamed? Because I think it's gonna be a close game. It opened at 8.5. You know that? It opened at 8.5. It was like 7.5 this morning, or like last night went down to 7.5 and down to 4.5. Somebody could be out for Illinois, but I also think Illinois is like freakishly overrated. That was like an unbelievably wide open. I think I put them down as a lean last night. Okay, let's see. Where does this thing just count down? All right, so easy enough. So now this thing's open too. All right, we'll start off. Yeah, Maryland's like the pieces are pretty good. Like between Ayala's like extremely experienced, Fat Russell's has a ton of experience. He's just kind of a crazy guy. Like Donta Scott's pretty good. Qudus Wahab, I mean, last year he helped him and like Harris. I mean, they basically helped. I mean, Blair and a couple of those senior pieces that have been through a lot were like a big part of that Georgetown team. But I mean, they went to the NCAA tournament and like made that run the Big East last year. So, Kofi's out. Yeah. Okay, so Kofi's out. But like Kofi, I mean, does Kofi impress you ever when you watch him anyways? That's kind of like, but so Illinois just unbelievably, I almost like them better without that, but they're not going to super punt it because like him Wahab would have been, but it's somebody to guard Wahab. So now it'll be, oh God, Omar Payne trying to guard Wahab. I hope Danny Manning is smart enough to like consistently go to Wahab because he like, I don't know if you watch, there's stretches where he won't play Wahab like 20 minutes in a row. So it's freaking nuts. I leaned Maryland at the wide number. Now, I don't know, whatever. But my whatever narrative on Illinois will always be the same. They're super Curbello's back. All right. And Curbello started to get into the mix of it in that Purdue game. He was good down the stretch. Maybe his momentum continues here. So at the short number, I don't know. I still think it's going to be like a one possession game or something because with Illinois, you're ultimately just relying on threes, right? How many do you think Plummer and Frazier make in the game? And then I like Grandison more than both of them. I think Grandison's like an NBA talent, but he doesn't get enough shots, doesn't get enough run. But I think Grandison's awesome. Yeah. So I still lean Maryland. I bet you I see that it's already moving towards 4. I would lean Maryland, but what the hell does that mean? What is this thing yelling about? Oh, shit. Wisconsin. Okay, so Wisconsin, Michigan State. Let's do that one. So I think if you could build like a front court to perfectly match up with Wisconsin's on both ends of the court, you would probably build like Bingham, what's his face, Gabe Brown, that front court. That's like they're kind of like, think about it, how Bingham's going to match up with Crowell, and then Tyler Wall, like you kind of have perfect matchups for him. So absolutely everything in favor of Michigan State there. I don't believe in Michigan State's guards. Otherwise, I would have a Michigan State ticket. I think they're overrated. I think Walker moving up to like the Big Ten and this level of athleticism, stuff like that, is almost like when you see I don't know, like when you first saw Tyus Jones and Jalen Brunson get up to the NBA, it's like, fuck. And like, he's just not going to have, I don't know if he's smart enough, whatever. Like, running Northeastern's offense is one thing, running this, we've already seen that. Guess I kind of like Christie. I actually like Hoggard like long term, just because while I see a lot of sloppy things, whatever, you still see like, all right, I know at this point in the game, this is what I need to fucking do. And like, even if he fucks up doing it, it's like having the wherewithal to be like, okay, I need to attack the rim here. I need to like attack the rim, break down the lane, whatever, get the ball. You know, he knows what the concept of what he wants to do. We're just relying every single Wisconsin game from right now. Like, there, you got to think, how much value can there be on Wisconsin? Like, at all? Like, preseason, this would have been what? So I don't know. Just, we're relying on Johnny Davis. How many points do you think Johnny Davis continues to score? They have a big guard edge at home. So like, I don't know. I'd be like taking the points if I was going to take it personally. I just don't want anything to do with it because I love Johnny Davis. He's going to like have another like 3, you know, he's just going to have a dud performance. They're coming. He's not going to drop close to 30 points every single game as a college kid. That's really difficult. Is the plus down to plus 3.5 this morning, 3.5 this morning? Are you talking about Michigan State, or are you talking about what's it called? No, you're not talking about Maryland. You're talking about Michigan State. Yeah. I think I saw it down to like almost 3 last night. Maybe I made that up. But I mean, what do you think? You're playing? I think you're playing a lot, because I think it's a really good matchup for Michigan State. It's got to be a really, really good matchup for Michigan State. Maryland was down to 3.5 early this morning. Yeah, because Maryland's like good. The problem with them is Fats Russell. Fats Russell's the problem. Because it's just like so many wasted possessions where it's like, dude, I'm sorry, but your pull-up jump shots, your drives to the lane where you're out of control and you just like off the back of the rim, and it's just like, well, man, I didn't really think it was going in either. I saw you do that for however many years at URI. You need to break it down, pass it. It needs to go to somebody else. You can't be taking shots, man. I'm sorry. And especially late game, you just need to figure it out. Wall's a game time decision. Good point. Did I just say that? Sorry. I hit the pen a little bit before I did this. It's Friday, and I watched face-offs and got all excited about Figgy. Yeah, the thing is, I love Donta Scott. That shit he did at the end of the Northwestern game, almost blown for it. Yeah, I see Neil Kumar on TikTok. I see what you're saying. If you lean Wisconsin, MSU's overrated. They are, but it's a good matchup, and I'm a matchup handicapper. So that, unfortunately, and like if it's like Tom Izzo being like, "Yo, shut him down, make Brad Davison have a huge game, and get the ball out of his hands." Or like, you can trust Tom Izzo to be super smart. Yeah, and they can play good defense and chase around. Although playing so many minutes, I don't know. I just don't trust Fats Russell as far as I can throw him. And the other thing you have to think about with Maryland, if you notice them blowing shit at the end of games and falling apart in like the last 8 minutes, it's because Danny Manning doesn't coach. He doesn't actually do the coaching thing. Sorry, I got to lower the volume on this thing. I'm moving this. But that's because he doesn't coach. He's a turd. Sorry, dude. Merrimack, I honestly just am not sure. I haven't been following that conference this year. I've been trying to just follow like teams I don't know. I just haven't had as much time with everything else going on in the world, NXT land, everything else. And I follow UFC a ton, which I've never done before in life. Before I had it be like such a big thing. So I'm having a tough time with that. Any other games before we hop in? I'll just break down the ones because I didn't really get as much of a chance to touch on them. But it's basically execution today. I think Ohio executes better. I think Mark Sears is the difference. He is just, like Toledo, when you watch him play, they're so talented. This team's going to be so good. Like next year when like Ray J. Dennis has another full year with them, Rollins as the leader, and I really like Raheem Moss, the freshman. But you see where they go through stretches where like they can rattle off like fucking, a ton of points in a row, but then they'll just take a bunch of weird jump shots where it's like, but like with the pieces you have in this conference, you can really do whatever you want. Why does Shoemate take the fall away jumpers? I like whatever Milner does. Let him do whatever the hell he wants. Cedric Milner, with how much he does on the O boards, he can do absolutely whatever he wants. Who cares? But those wasted possessions and shit are just the difference. Like later on, like next year or something, even if Sears is still there, Toledo wins this matchup, maybe even later in the year. I don't know if they played already. I don't think so. Probably would have looked at that. But yeah, like they can win this later. It's just going to be too many wasted possessions. Somehow Ohio wins. I took like a unit during the game. There's going to be spurts. Like there's going to be runs in this based on threes or whatever. When you get times to take Ohio, because especially if it's in like early second half, something like that, they're down by like 4. You get all those chances to live. I put a little note at the bottom of one of my posts. But we look to live teams that have, you need the live teams with plus guard play, experienced guard play, and good shooting. Like you got to be able to shoot, fucking obviously, but shooting, guard play, and it really helps if the other team is volatile. Like spot yesterday, Towson over College of Charleston. We had everything there. We can shoot. We have better guard play. They're super volatile guard play. There are so many opportunities in that game to be adding, just like the Xavier DePaul game. So many opportunities to be adding. I think this is another spot where you can get a good price on Ohio. Let's hold on. Let me get a couple of these before they all fucking stream away. I'll do this one first this time. Lakers minus 5.5. I have a note about that. We'll do NBA after. Bonnie's over Duquesne. Yeah, I was thinking Bonnie's, but I just I'm not paying that price for the Bonnie's when they're still like they need to. You have to think Schmidt has to know that by the end of the season, we need to get to a point where we have like an 8-man rotation or more. Because if we don't, we're not fucking doing anything in the playoffs anyway. 7 at least, 7 with the 2 transfers. We need to get to that. Pains between all that. Duquesne, I think, is probably underrated just because what's his face? D'Ambrose underrated. The team seems to like each other. Yeah, they're super young, but Spears, and what's the name of the other young guard? Will be better in the future. I know it's a good matchup. I mean, the experienced guard versus a super young guard. They're big, they're long. Bonnie should get turnovers. But covering 5.5, and I'm just not fucking laying the money line on them. I just wouldn't do that. It's just better things for me to do. I feel a little bit. It's tough. I have no idea, by the way, if I'm supposed to tap something on TikTok to make things come up. I'm gonna have to figure that out another time. Too much for me. Purdue should have fed Edie and Travion last night. Yeah, but that's what we talk about with Purdue, right? You can't trust their guard play as far as you can fucking throw. And that's my problem with Purdue and this group of Purdue guys. Like Jaden Ivey, first of all, we shouldn't expect to know what to do. I mean, he came from Akron where he only played like a year, then he had to go transfer to Purdue. We don't expect him to know what to do. But the other guys that have been there longer, Stefanovic, all you other guys, you guys should be able to figure something out. Hold on, we'll hop to NBA in a little bit. But that's the guards, and it's not gonna fix itself this year, and they're not gonna do anything. Yeah, Jackie Johnson's nice. Thank you. I like him. Not a fan of Rollins. I'm a huge fan of Rollins. I'm a huge fan of all 3 of those guards. I'm a huge fan of Toledo. I'm Ohio's execution. And they're going to have the bulk. They're going to have some level of bulk inside to get easy buckets there, alongside Sears's execution. Brown's back. It's just like this is like before this season, Bills Patriots or something, where it's like you got to knock off the top dog, but you're doing it with like younger people that need to learn lessons along the way while you're doing it. So like it'll be a close game, which is why I think we'll get the opt alive. But eventually, it's just like there's more possessions, extra execute. It's just you execute more something. You know what I mean? It's just like those extra, like Sears is so steady. He's like when you, that's in the NBA market, in this market now, because people don't think about it anymore, which is why you see in drafts like Jalen Brunson go low, Monte Morris go low. People that are like, it's like, holy, you know they're going to be running an NBA offense, at least backup unit at some point. People consistently just undervalue true point guards. When you got them, you can play them a lot. Evansville, Illinois State. Fuck Evansville. They're such turds. They stink so bad. They stink so bad. I don't really want to lay that with Illinois State, but Evansville, it's the craziest thing how they've been together forever and they still stink. Hold on. All right, let's do I really don't have an opinion on that game. I wouldn't want to get it. But the thing is, like, that Illinois State win over Bradley was completely fraudulent. Like, Illinois State plays no defense, whatever. Bradley just completely mentally checked out for that, which is what made me miss them against Drake. because I just couldn't do it, even though somebody smart alerted in the chat. Our chat's getting pretty good at calling out plays. NBA really quick. I'll do these. Lakers, I just had an NBA chat with my buddies, so doing these. Lakers -5.5. I would be on the Lakers. I think that they're like at this point they're undervalued. Like this team still has to oh God, 5.5. Oh, why is the line so now it's down to 4.5, 5. Dude, because nobody believes in the Lakers because they stink. That's why the line's so low. They stink. They have their only shooting is all young kids. Now that Monk and Reeves are back, I actually think they're more playable. Now we can actually play the Lakers because they have some shooting for those guys to kick it to. Because otherwise, I mean, it's a team. It's a team built to loot. There's no win condition in the play. You just built a team with no shooting. Who the hell builds a team with Westbrook, LeBron, and LeBron's the best shooter out of them now, and Anthony Davis is unbelievably soft. Westbrook is what Westbrook is. People can say what he is. I mean, if you give anybody 30 shots a game, just let them do everything, yeah, they're going to get millions of stats. But he's always been the same guy. He can't shoot. You can't have this many players on the floor that can't shoot. Now that you have those other guys back, Bradley's back, these other people, but when they're starting Horton Tucker, all these other, I mean, so you have to think they're going to make a push. Orlando stinks, man. I mean, it is what it is. We can say these things. They stink. I think people don't want to. I'm having a hard time laying this many, but 4.5, if it gets low enough, I can dip my toe in the water or something. Spurs over Nets. I think I leaned Spurs and Lakers. Those were the two ones I leaned. I think the Spurs are going to win. I think it's a good matchup just because Durant's still out, right? Correct me there if I'm wrong. But if Durant's still out, then they have big guards. And without being punished too much at that 4th spot, they just have big guards. They're going to be able to put up a lot of points. Holy shit, that flipped. They're -1.5 now. Is Kyrie out or something? Let me just check that real quick. And then I got to finish off and just do the St. Peter's game and the whatever game. The Heat. I like the Heat a lot. That's another execution. No Claxton, no Bembry. No, this is the same deal. Yeah, this is just line movement. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, dude. KD sprained his MCL. Whoa. Oh, that's bad. Man. Oh, I have a Sonics KD jersey. I love that guy. All right. So before I go real quick, anybody have any other NBA? Let's just finish up NBA because I like the Heat a bunch. -2 now in some spots. Give me more. I'll take if you go up to, I'll take another. I'll take a little bit more. Execution. Atlanta has Hunter back, so I understand they won 2 in a row. They came back because the Timberwolves decided to take a shit on themselves at the end of the last game. So now people are thinking, oh, the Hawks are riding the ship. They have Hunter back, so they have the starting lineup minus Capella. John Collins has always been cool. And Trae Young's been reasonably efficient because he's been hitting some shots the last few games. So people are let's get on the Hawks train. I think the Heat are without Kyle Lowry tonight, which is why, no Kyle Lowry, no Markieff Morris, good riddance. And no, is Tyler Harrow playing? I frankly don't care. Doesn't matter to me. This is execution. This is for all the stupid plays that the Hawks make. They're still working Hunter back in. He's going to have a bad matchup with all the people at the 3 and the 4 that they're going to attack him with because, Spoelstra is a smart coach. He actually coaches really well. He has his players playing well. It's almost they remind me, they're in my head and looking at their record, I think it's reflective. They're this year's version of they're this year's version of the Knicks. They just play their fucking tails off. They play hard defense. It's a bunch of people that have been counted out, things like that. Spoelstra tells them that, and they're all busting their fucking ass. That's what this team reminds me of. Super deep bench. They're just playing harder than their opponents all the time, and I think that's exactly what will give the Hawks problems tonight. They beat him in the last 2 matchups in like a similar kind of thing. Wall Lowry's a little annoying. I don't know. I mean, dude, there's a lot of people in this lineup that like they're people that are probably over the fucking moon at their opportunity right now. Like Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent didn't even get to have success in college at Long Beach State. He's having like success now, getting to play huge minutes. Like you see like, you know, 4 for 13 shooting night, something like that in the last time out against the Blazers. And you're like, whatever. Dude, he had a plus 14 because he's playing his fucking tail off out there and played 37 awesome minutes en route to the win. You know, I freaking don't like Caleb Martin, but he can score. There's people who can score. Max Strus, another guy at DePaul, didn't get the win for shit there. Now he gets to come and be on a 29-16 NBA team. No reason, no, it's not a surprise. He had a plus 22 last time out. Spoelstra's coaching these guys really well. They're going to have a bunch of free possessions. Adebayo is going to cause all kinds of problems inside. I think this is a problem. I think they're going to work to get the big guys in foul trouble. And then, yeah, it's just going to kind of be easy. A lot of open threes, probably a lot of points. But I think the Heat as dogs, especially if it gets like a plus 110 range and stuff like that, that's just freaking insane. It's a team that's going to play much harder defense. And the bench. Think about the bench. Think about how thin the Hawks bench is. You got to go out, Bill. All right, hold on a second. Think about how thin the Hawks bench is. Yeah. Jimmy, big game. Yeah, probably. Exactly. I'm all over the Heat tonight. Sixers don't lose. Who are the Sixers playing? The Clippers? I don't know. I think Matisse Thybulle's out, and Matisse Thybulle is on the list of people for me in the NBA where you don't play them if he's not playing. Like, he's the most important person on the Sixers. He's what makes them a lot better because he's like a lockdown guard. I think he's absolutely lockdown defender. Not only that, he's an incredible off-ball defender and getting in passing lanes and shit. He's just an unbelievable game-changing defender. It is what it is. On the same list for me, we don't bet the Warriors without Draymond. You don't do it. If you do it, you're the only person you can be mad at the outcome of that game. Same thing, the Suns without Jay Crowder. I don't know, whatever. There's a couple other people on that list. Any other NBA questions before we move on, brothers? We're going to breeze through college basketball so that we can touch on UFC and NFL because I feel very good about a few. Very, very good. I have many shekels on Davison Figueiredo. And I already have many shekels on Davison Figueiredo, and I think the money's yet to come in. There's going to be more money in Moreno. So I'm like, waiting. Plus 155, and it's going to get better. What a dream. What a great day. What a great day tomorrow is going to be, huh? Not going against I get line movement going towards Youngstown State because Cleveland State's been playing like shit. We called that out a while ago. That just doesn't matter to me. I'm still not going to take any Youngstown State. Cleveland State so much better. Their stock we really don't like to invest against. I see people talking about the Siena Manhattan game. Siena, no matter what, is still going to be underrated because they're still yet to get any respect for like starting to come out of the gutter. Again, that's a team that's chock full of all transfers. So it takes time to gel throughout the year. I hate their head coach though. Like he to me looks like he's like a, I don't know, used car salesman in like Newark that I drove by way back in the day or something that I just don't like. There's something about him I just don't like, and I probably don't like the way he does business, whatever. I don't like him. But they do have a lot more talent. Manhattan's like never like super adept at scoring, so you have to think scoring's going to be on Siena's edge. But like Manhattan, they just beat the shit out of people, right? They're like boxing, basically. St. Peter's, Niagara. We're on St. Peter's. We got them at plus 2.5. I think they're still fine. I think you can take them on the money line if you really want. I took the 2.5 out of pure respect for Marcus Hammond because I do think he's good. Somebody said in the chat you don't like about guard play being on Niagara's side in this. I don't know. I've watched Niagara a few times recently, and I think Marcus Hammond's playing like dog shit, and I still respect him enough. I think the Thomason kid's a little wild, a little crazy. and we're back to execution. I think for St. Peter's, that little lull they went through there, that was because Lee was out. Matthew Lee, I want to say. They all get mixed up. But I think it's Matthew Lee, but he was out. He's like a steady hand for them. But really, Eater, I think, is kind of like pulling himself up. This is the same draft class that also had the Estrada kid that was there, did really well, went to Oregon, was overmatched. Now is doing really well for Hofstra, where he's supposed to be competition-wise. But I think St. Peter's just executes better. Niagara, too many stupid possessions. You need to be too good. You need to have. I actually think a super underrated piece for them is the Cintron kid. I like him when he has a plus matchup. Don't really think he's going to have one here with it's tough to have one at like that 4 or 5, even 3 spot offensively for them right now. I think, the guards do whatever. Hammond's a way bigger guard, stuff like that. That's why I took the 2.5, but execution's better. St. Peter's is a better team. They have a better coach. I think they get turnovers here too. And I don't like how, if you're taking them on the basis of Marcus Hammond being really good, well, he's not being very assertive right now, so I want to be on the other side because the people are putting them as a favorite, like in terms of that. The St. Pierre's better at defense, better rebounding. They'll get a bunch of offensive rebounds in this game, I believe. Does the Fresno wagon keep rolling tonight against Nevada? Oh, I think weirdly enough, just because I like the Robinson kid and I like the Holland kid. I actually like Holland. I think he's a winner. So I took them when they were down a bunch to Utah State the other night. They were down by 15 in the first half. I took them, and then they were down. Just the first half. So I took him at some big. I got plus 2 something, 240, 250, something like that. They lose that game a really high portion of the game. This team can go through crazy scoring droughts because I don't know. Robinson is he's different than I thought he was. I thought he was a little more bully and a little less finesse. He's a little more finesse and a little less bully, which was interesting to me. But I think they lose that game, man, a decent percentage of the time, like 78, 75% of the time. And they're skating on winning shit like that. But on the flip side, Nevada, I don't know. I still haven't figured out to this point yet what's been wrong with them all season. This team was better last season. I think Cambridge stinks, and I think he's a little too selfish, and I think this team should completely revolve around Sherfield, and it really doesn't. Sherfield is a fucking closer, man. Big nut closer. I don't know. I just don't. Fresno State on the road, again, beating UNLV. The thing is, at this price, I don't know, maybe does it keep going? Do you see a 3 or something like that? You can get that hook because, if you think about it, people that took Fresno State at open, think about the fact that you just took them at Nevada against a closer like Sherfield at the same price you had, you could have gotten them for against UNLV. A few days ago or whatever. So the think about the price and what people are, the perspective on Fresno State. Granted, the books are willing to give you it. Gun to my head, I'll take Fresno State just because I just saw them overcome adversity, win something. I haven't seen Nevada play fucking 2 decent basketball games in a row all season. What the fuck's their problem been? They just didn't show up this season. Ryder over Canisius because I'm butthurt about Canisius not covering against Niagara recently. Yeah, that wasn't cool. Just because, how many layups you have to miss. That Harid kid, who I usually is playing like a dumpster. And I think he's really important to win because otherwise it's just the Fofana and the whatever guy. It's just a lot of jump shots and weird shit. And for somehow, Hitchin and Fritz have learned nothing in their time in college and are just the exact same players they were. Zero development. Do we have anything else to touch on? Any other college basketball games? Because we actually just hit the 30 mark, which is perfect in terms of timing ourselves. And I want to just touch on the Figgy fight, which I got to make a video for anyways, but I have some shit fresh on my mind, and then the NFL games. Because I think I got the winners. Any going once, going twice. Any more basketball questions before we move on? I guess what am I gonna fucking Nazi out and not answer if people ask later? So whatever. Moving on to UFC 270. Figueiredo plus 155. I think it's absolutely insane. I think late money is going to come in on what does 11 messages mean? What the hell does that mean when it says that? I'm never going to learn how this works. I just don't care. Figgy at plus 155 is one of the crazier. The only thing I have pinpointed on our UFC calendars for a bigger bet than this coming up is Jared Cannonier over Brunson at like plus, minus 130, minus 140 range is one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. I haven't seen something that crazy. I thought Cannonier, I thought I'd at least have to open just before I could even get any money down or anything. I thought the open would be like minus 180 and we're getting minus 130. That's the craziest thing ever. Figgy, this is like whatever. If you go back and rewatch the first fight, he beat the shit out of Moreno. He beat the shit. Moreno, a lot of the stuff where people are saying he was being dirty, I think Moreno. Oh, all these things just loaded. Sorry, yo. Oh, I touched the Wisconsin one. I don't know why these all just loaded. Yeah, no Taro Hero. I knew that one. Ah, shit. Wisconsin, Michigan State, I said already. Matchup, I'm sorry. I can't go over it again. My brain hurts. Matchup, Michigan State. But do you want to – how big a game does Johnny Davis have? Because he's got to overcome what I think is an awesome matchup for Michigan State, even though I don't believe in their guard. So that's saying something. I don't know. I think it's a really good matchup for the Spurs. I touched on that one. UK at Auburn, early prediction. Auburn at their UK is not going to punish Auburn's like guards with big size athleticism and turn them over and do what I think they need to do to beat Auburn at this point. So I'll lean Auburn. Oh shit, Titans pancakes. I know, dude. Whoever said Titan pancakes, you are right, my friend. Titan pancake is absolutely correct. I am hammering the Titans. Yeah, this is just a game where trenches. That's all you need to say, and you just in your head trenches, keep it moving. Bayard's good enough and is locked in enough this season. What an unbelievable season, huh? Possible MVP, defensive MVP. He will figure it out enough on the back end to limit explosive plays. They're going to get enough sacks. What we're worrying about in this, as fans, as whatever, as bettors even, because I want to bet Joey B Super Bowls down the road. What we're worried about in this game is not whether the Bengals can beat the Titans. They're not beating the fucking Titans. What we're worried about is that Joey B doesn't take a bunch of blindside hits and shit like that, and we have to like watch his career get limited like an Andrew Luck situation or something like that. Because Joey B is going to be one of the great ones, but you don't overcome this kind of line disparity this early. This is like, this is the first thing. He did it. He got him to the playoffs. He won a playoff game this year complete. Now, next year will be a new task. Maybe they have a little pullback as they try and figure out like an optimal line combination or something, because they're going to have to draft somebody, maybe start getting a little young. Like you just got to, as they put that together, and then the year after, we take like a Bengals Super Bowl future or something, or at least like a appearance future. But it's too early for Joey B. Let's go over NFL really quick. So I'd lay the 3.5 even. I think that they get beat relatively soundly. This is a monster disparity on both lines. Like, think about how shitty the Bengals offensive line is before you take them, if you are thinking of taking the Bengals, because they stink. What do you need, Dino? Water? All right, 49ers, Packers. I'm going to end up with this is the only one I'm kind of iffy on. 49ers, Packers. I'm going to end up with a 49ers +6 ticket for the smallest of any of these plays, just for a little bit. And just out of the respect for the fact that it's a bad matchup. Like, the Packers defense is overrated. I just put water in there. You were scraping that. Now you don't want it. Packers defense is overrated. Once that running game gets rolling, and if San Fran gets a lead, it just becomes so uncomfortable for other teams. Elijah Mitchell's awesome. If anybody else watched him, let me know if anybody else watched him at Lafayette. He was awesome. But if they get rolling, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to go against Aaron Rodgers to win. But I just feel like almost like out of respect. Oh, it's not +6 anymore. That's annoying. But Rams Bucks, as simple for me as the preview for last week for Eagles Bucks was, in what world do you see Tom Brady walking off the field like, or like, no, he doesn't really do that. He's got the walking off the field, and Jalen Hurts being like, with his like, next round. Do you see Matt Stafford doing that? And fucking Tom Brady, come on. I'm not doing arguments with people about Matt Stafford. He stinks, just like he's kind of always stunk. He zones in on specific receivers. He holds the ball for too long. It's just that he can't throw like the easy pass. It's just unrepeatable mechanics. He's the same guy he's been. I don't care if the Bucks stink. Yeah, I think the next stop, like maybe they go to the Super Bowl. He's Tom Brady. He's Tom fucking Brady. But people that are betting this Rams money down, I don't care who else is on the field. That doesn't matter to me. There's not as big a disparity at every other position like there is at the most important one in this. And I just how the Rams defense is just going to come up that just absolutely nothing. And Stafford's just going to like, what narrative are you creating? And then I'll take the Chiefs too. The Bills money coming in. You believe in Josh Allen? I mean, I don't know. I've watched Josh Allen since he was, at least a junior at Wyoming. And I have never seen, I saw like a brief period where he looked really good before the league adjusted to him. Just like I saw Shane Spencer have a brief period of being awesome in when I was a kid. I mean, it's just I do think he's good. I think Pat Mahomes is better. I think Andy Reid's better. I think just how are we getting this cheaper price on the Chiefs over the Bills in the playoffs? We know, like Josh Allen, people are speculating he has that moxie. We know Pat Mahomes has that fucking moxie. We know he's got it. We know he does. It's just what it is. I still think the Chiefs stink. And I mean, everybody stinks. I'm starting to get to that point. I'm realizing who doesn't stink this season. Everybody stinks. I don't know if Bills can lose to the Chiefs again in the playoffs, though. Why? What about this team? Is it the really good defense that makes you think it? They're not a really good defense. They struggle against the run. What is Edwards-Helaire still out? Who cares? Honestly, does anybody care who the running back is back there, or is Andy Reid just going to get it done? Like, doesn't matter. That's what it's like. How more so than how the Chiefs are going to win, because the Chiefs have like proven that like they're probably just going to win until somebody really knocks them off. How are the Bills going to win? I think that's more so the question. And we start like, wow, how do the Bills get it done? I get in trouble for this thing. Yeah, the Bills' defense has always been a little bit overrated during whatever. They've always had some problems with the run game. It's always been a little tough. You believe in Allen. Yeah, I don't believe in Josh Allen. I've just watched him since he was at Wyoming. When he was at Wyoming, he would just ball out and shit on the faces of everybody in the Mountain West. And then anybody decent, like any bowl game, any of the non-con games where it was big, just got his face shit on. And then he's like, once adjustments kind of came through, it's been tough. So I can't believe in him. I have a hard time. So I think that's what I'm rolling with. My most confident one, I don't see a fucking world where the Titans lose. I don't understand people betting on the Bengals. I get it. Like, you're already going to put Joey B in the Tommy B bucket, and I want him there. But you need some semblance of an O-line. Like, remember the game where Peyton didn't have an arm anymore, and the Broncos played the Pats, and Tom Brady didn't have a half a second to throw? Imagine that. And then you have like a coach that's kind of boneheaded and won't adjust fast enough, especially in a playoff game, and really needs to learn lessons for some reason. And I think you have that coach in Zach Taylor. So Titans is the one I'm by far the most confident in. If the fucking Bengals win, I mean, I'll be happy. See, I'll be like happy to lose money. That would be the best part of that. But I don't see a world where they win. And then, okay, so then for UFC, I'll come out with whatever other picks. But just Dude, you rewatch. Figueiredo is so much stronger. He's going to wrestle more. He came in looking awesome at weigh-ins. And Brandon Moreno stinks. Figueiredo's a way better boxer. He's way better at everything. All the stuff with like the eye pokes and stuff. You know why you keep getting eye poke, Moreno? Because you're sticking your face over the center line every time you punch. The guy, think about how much damage he took in the first one. People are saying like all the confidence going and stuff like that. It's false bravado. And that's why the narrative out of that guy's mouth every time is how confident I am and how I defeated the beast. And now like I can just go play on my Legos. I mean, I liked the guy before. Now I don't like him at all. Did anybody watch the press conference? Dude, he's like a 4-year-old kid. He was like going like la 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 like into the microphone. It was embarrassing. Like Figueiredo, you know, is kind of like, you know, wasn't awesome either, but it was fucking embarrassing. That was an embarrassing press conference. Like I don't know, man. I think they'll be happy to take his belt from him. I think the first one being a draw was one of the craziest things on planet Earth. And I think swinging from we went minus 300. He won every round. They deducted a point. If somebody can give me a good argument on a round that Moreno won, come hit me up. Otherwise, Figueiredo wins every round. Moreno swinging at air a lot of the time and missing. Figueiredo, that's why he's staying at a range. That's why he's not getting poked in the eye. Moreno's coming in like this. That's why he's getting poked in the eye. They're both doing some like open palm stuff on entries. And that you're getting poked in the face because that's how you fight, buddy. And then you're like rubbing your face into his hands on the ground to get opportunities to get points because you know you're not going to beat him in just a straight fight. Figueiredo has the worst cut ever in the second fight, which is at minus 200. And now we've swung to minus 170, minus 175, minus 180 on Figueiredo, on Moreno this time. Moreno stinks. His record is, let's pull up Brandon Moreno because I've been looking. I'm a huge Royval guy, but I bet I'm a Royval in that fight because I thought he had him from like completely and totally from a. Okay. Draw versus Askarov lost. This is the last thing, by the way. Shit, I got it wrong. Draw versus Askarov lost. Beat Kai Kara France. I actually thought it was kind of like a tight decision. I thought, like, I don't know, man. He wasn't super impressive in that fight to me and didn't like make. For a guy that actually I think has pretty good fight IQ, didn't make like the best decisions in that fight. Formiga completely cooked at that point. People that think like, oh, Formiga beat Figueiredo. And then after that, Formiga took a lot of damage against Figueiredo, even though Figueiredo was still fighting, still working for 15 minutes straight, being on his back in like 8 of those. But all the damage from that and then getting knocked the fuck into the shadow realm by, I believe, Benavidez. But then after that, he fought Moreno, and he was like already cooked. He's not even like, and then he fights Perez, and he's out of the UFC, but he just like was walking. It was nothing. And then beats Royval because Royval is picking him apart on the feet, shit like that, making him uncomfortable. And Royval's fucking shoulder pops out in exchange. And then Figueiredo draw, you lost. Yeah, you didn't win a round. People are, I don't understand. Like when you actually watch, barely his punches barely touch, and Figueiredo's just nailed him clean, the damage on the face, everything at the end of that. Dude, you were trying to cause a lot of eye pokes, and then Figueiredo has his second terrible cut ever. He's fighting for like a guy that's getting up in age. He fought for like the 4th time in a year, basically. Way too much, cutting away way too much. Body shuts down on him. He's in the hospital repeatedly over the stretch. And now we're at minus 170 Moreno. This is a Figueiredo play. This is Figueiredo plus 155, and you have to do it. You must do such a thing. I think this is what I believe. Well, I don't know. We'll see. All right. Hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful weekend. If nobody has any other questions, I got some shit to do. All right. Going once. Going all. Any more matchup questions? Going once. Going all. All right, guys. Hope you have a good weekend. See you later. Oh, how do I get off? I have no idea how to shut this shit off. Damn it. End broadcast on this one. Oh, of course, bro.